Starting with the packaging, which I'm very happy that they went back to the old style, well, predominantly, with the Kenner logo on it. But there have been some significant changes over the years. For starters, there is no inner plastic packaging, and one of the better things I'd say they did was, instead of the horrendous mess that is twist tying everything, they went with the paper ones. Because as us old collectors now, back in the day they twist tied everything. It took us long to get the toy out of the package as it did to play with it. Now, as for additional changes, you can see that this is in multiple different languages, whereas usually, well, back in the day it was only just one or two. The same applies to, well, a lot of the other parts as well, because the bio has been significantly shortened to fit on multiple languages, as has the tagline for the line itself. But we do see some very nice artwork of the figures themselves again. Obviously, we have the Ultra Class, which would probably be, well, it's certainly in the later price point for those of us who have actually wanted to attain this thing now. Tells you how much I paid for it. Don't want to go into it. But again, we see Cheetor and Rat Trap. The old school ones, anyway. And apparently we are getting a Tigertron, so that's something. Getting into the bio for a second, we do see that Primal had some weapons that he did not use back in the day. Particularly these the arm blasters were more guns back in the time, not necessarily missile cannons. But the big one here is that freaky mace. Yeah, in addition to the mutant hand, which I never used, thankfully, we do see the swords that he did use in the show, called the Dual Attack Spinal Swords. Okay. But yeah, as you can tell, max tech specs and just all around stuff you would expect for what was, at the time, this figure. Alrighty, enough of looking at the package. Let's look at the figure itself. I can already hear some of you MIB collectors screaming. Okay. Now this does seem to be... Okay, so these instructions seem to be very much like what they were back in the day. Not even be the exact copy. So these are actually going to be useful. Hooray for that one. Let's see here now. Yeah. It is very empty without the plastic tray, but then again, that's less you have to throw away anyhow. We do have the missiles, the mace, and the sword here. Though oddly in a lighter blue than what I've seen others who review this figure in, but at least we got good old Primal in his Black Gorilla mode. Let's get him out of there. Make sure to cut away from myself. There we are. How much is this? Well, they may not be made of the same twist ties, but they certainly stick like the old ones did. There we go. Okay. That's my toy. I'll play with it as I please. Alrighty. Then... yeah, that's right. Okay, get this one plastic twist tie out of the way. Now then, here we have, ooh. Yeah, that was where the missiles came out, as you can see, and let's see. Okay, there we go. And if I pull on this lever, okay, well those are just as trigger happy as ever. Alright, let's see here. Get this, and then lift up and down for Monkey Rage! Oh! Probably more closer down to here. This seemed to drift up something fierce though. Okay. That was part of the main reason why I even got this figure, is because it could do that feature. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, well, too bad. Now, okay, him like that. Hand up everything. And there we go. Basic comparisons. Here we have the Takara Legends and the Kingdom version. The Kingdom definitely made the right choice by going for the realistic version because, well, as you have seen, the original one's face, a little goofy. In fact, it kind of goes into the territory of turtle face, doesn't it? But if that excites you, as I know it does many, you have it. Okay, now, let's see. As for articulation, nothing in the head. Shoulders can rotate. Arms, elbows can bend fairly decently. Rotation is somewhat limited due to the gimmick, and nothing in the wrist. Waist rotation, but it's mostly from robot mode. Now what will be the robot legs, well, it can bend that back pretty far, and nothing for the feet. Yes, 90s engineering to the T, isn't it? Okay, let's get this fellow into robot mode, and we can get into something, some other stuff. Okay, so, fold back, fold these legs out, fold the feet that way. Then we twist around, then fold down the feet there. Oop. Pop open that. And carefully do the same there. Or hit epic shoulder pads. Oop. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that too much. And then we fold down the face. Hopefully, maybe possible. Come on now. Okay, 1 second. Okay, this is just a bit stuck here, but now we can just fold this down like that. Get the rather freaky mutant face. Then we just turn this thing around, fold up the ear antennas. So, probably don't need that right now. And there we go. Optimus Primal, robot mode. Okay, as for additional gimmicks, because there were plenty. And we can open up this side panel here in his arms for the handgun. Okay. Open up this one, where we can store the mace, which does fold into his hand like that. A little strange, but you can do that. So now, I'm really glad they didn't do this gimmick in the show. Otherwise, people might have been a little put off by it. Okay. Now, firing missiles. Yes, and yes. Okay, cool. And I managed to keep them. Amazing. Okay. Getting to that in a minute. Okay. Button on the back launches both of the back launchers. Okay, there we go. As there is a very specific way this goes. And let's see. Yes on 1. Yes on 2. Okay, cool. Got those launched just fine. Now, as for storing these on the back. Like that? Okay, yeah, they go like that. Or you could put him in his hand. Like that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely the figure that I remember seeing. And definitely the figure that's very hefty, very well painted, and very impressive looking. As for storage of this mace itself, you fold in this part into the head and slide in there. It'll kind of, where I can really go. Right. Again, very fiddly, but you can do it. Darn string. Okay. Alrighty, time for a size comparison. Here we see the Takara Legends again. And here we see the Kingdom Voyager size. And yes, Ultra is definitely certainly one term for it. Because this thing is very large and has its own unique presence. This is more modern engineering. I do remember that there is the Cybertron one, but that was give or take on that one. Plus, I wasn't really into it at the time, so I don't have that figure. But still, it's a very nice trio of figures as it stands, and they thankfully do stand. Moving on, articulation, the head does rotate. It's a little bit limited both to the mask and the head cover here. Shoulders, same rotation, but you do gotta be careful because of that gimmick. Same thing with the bicep, and the same elbow curl. Waist rotates a lot more freely in this mode. Ball joint for the hips. Very nice knee bend, and you do get foot tilt. So there is a fair amount of posing you can get with this figure. And it is a very impressive one at that. Now, big question that's going to come up. Is this worth the price? Now, obviously, with any reissue figure, there's going to be a bit of sticker shock. With plastic prices always going up, there's always going to be something that if you want to relive your childhood, you could do it, but it's going to cost you. You can either go to conventions, but current circumstances puts that out of the equation, at least for now. So these reissues seem to be your best bet. Now, with no history to the figure itself, I like this figure. I'm glad I have it. Your individuals may vary, but for the price point he's being offered at, he's certainly worth the money. Both for a nostalgia factor, for the fun factor, and just to be reminded of what we used to have, for better or worse. So I would definitely recommend getting them. Although, One thing I did notice is that on none of these figures are the Prime Jets. But then again, that was probably just a thing in the cartoon, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Anyway, I am the Deceptiwolf. This has been Reissue Beast Wars Ultra Optimus Primal. And again, I remind you all, free your mind, free your toys. And there's no way I'm paying $70 for the Megatron.